Alright, so I'm making this quick video because the other day I was on a rooftop pool hanging out with some friends that were staying in a local hostel, and I had this thought, or I had this realization that literally anyone could work remotely or travel the world or be a digital nomad, and you can essentially figure it out as you go. For the longest time, I wanted to have the most in-depth plan on how I was going to do everything, the exact structure of a business or freelance or whatever that I was going to do. But one thing I've realized once I started traveling is you really don't need all these things in place. Are they good? Yes, for the most part, they are good. However, they are absolutely not a necessity. And what I mean by that is there are people there that have basically, or just people in general that travel, that have just newly quit their jobs, and they just learn things as they go, just by networking, by meeting other people. Now, of course, I think it's smart to have a skill set and have something that you enjoy and to have clients before you leave so you can still make money. However, you would be shocked the amount of people that you meet that really don't have any sort of plan, and they're just figuring out as they go. And a good example is I met someone that was staying in a, all right, hold on one second, I'm gonna try not to get run over here by some cars, but basically what you can do is he is going to stay in a place where it is free, and it's all you have to do is volunteer at a dog shelter in this local town in Mexico. So it's in Puerto Vallarta, which is actually a bigger town. Right now I'm in Sayulita, so it's a little bit smaller, as you can see. And by volunteering inside of this dog shelter, you can basically live there for free, and all you have to do is work there for, I think he said 2 to 3 hours per day, and then you can go and you can do whatever you want with the rest of the time that you have. And so he's staying there for 5-6 weeks. And I think what I did, or what I'm guilty of doing, is I initially traveled around 5 or 6 years ago now. I traveled to Thailand and I absolutely loved it. I stayed for a month just off of my savings. And then I didn't travel again until way later, till years later. I waited way too long. I already had skills. I was already freelancing, and I definitely had the money to do it, but I thought I needed something that I could structure, something that could pay me reoccurring. But one thing I wish I did was just took small little snippets in time and just traveled and just lived the digital nomad life this way, and just experience life. Even if I was a digital nomad for only, let's say, a month or 2 months or 3 months, that's still better than just not doing it at all. And so that's one thing that I wish I did earlier, and experienced traveling and experienced this type of life earlier. Because right now, as the years go by, there's certain responsibilities that I think you gain when you do get a bunch of clients, or when you do grow a business or you start freelancing more and more, that can potentially hinder your experience. Like there is a certain benefit I think that you get when you're traveling very light and you don't have a ton of clients and you don't have a ton of responsibility, because some of these guys, they can work 3-5 hours a day and then volunteer for an hour or two, and then essentially just not care about anything, and I think it's great to do that. And I think that I waited just way too long to actually get out and start traveling. I wanted everything to be tidy and in place. And if you're watching this and you have thought about it, you have wanted to travel, but you don't have the exact plan of exactly how you're going to make money or what you're going to do, just take a skill set and go. I've even heard about people that get clients as they travel, and I think that's great. But that is probably one mistake I say that I made, is not taking shorter bursts. And even though I didn't quote unquote make it, to still travel and to still experience life, whether it's through hostels or through whatever. Now I can't really stay in a hostel for too long, because I have team calls, I have to be on Zoom, I have client calls, and so it's a bit harder now than when I only had a few clients, and I needed way less time to communicate with them and talk to them. So literally, I think anyone can travel and work and be a digital nomad, or just in general travel, even if you don't want to be a digital nomad and you're in between jobs, or you're in a period where you want to take some time off. I think you should absolutely do it. There's no point in waiting until retirement, until you're 60, because anyways, after a month of sitting by the beach, you'll be shocked. You might even be tired of living that life. And you might even be excited to get back to work. And that's another thing that I've realized, is that if I took those little breaks, every time I come back from a break, I am more motivated than ever. I have more energy than ever. And this is freaking huge, right? And I think that maybe it would have even inspired me to start living this life even sooner. So I actually just made it to the beach. Let me see if you guys can see all that. So I think that there's a huge benefit of taking trips and traveling, and even doing it in short bursts, and while you build something, while you work up to something that's more long-term and more sustainable. I mean, I've been traveling now. I sold my stuff, I think, about 3 months ago. So it's been good. It's been fun. But I definitely wish I took more intermittent trips in between all these years. And I traveled and lived life. So that is my tip, my advice. Look into some of these things. I think you can definitely figure it out and live your life.